I wanted to tell you how I feel as far as the constant reference to the Canadians being our close allies and our buddies when it comes to supplying resources here to the United States. Canada already provides us with conventional oil, with conventional heavy crude oil, but since they've located the tar sands pits and wish to export their tar sands, the people that are backing, or the government that is backing the excavation of the tar sands pit is really the Communist Chinese, because they are the ones that don't have any regulations preventing them from using dirty fuel. We actually have in the 2007 Energy Commission law, there is an Act 526 built within it that says that U.S. tax dollars cannot purchase anything that emits more carbon emission than what our conventional oil does here in the United States. For us to think that the Canadians are actually doing us a favor, we really need to look at that a little more seriously. The down line from the tar sands pits, we have Indian tribal communities that there is evidence that they are getting cancer from the water, from the chemicals that are in the water that come downstream from the tar sands pit. If you look from outer space and see the carbon emissions that are created up there when they actually blend this prior to putting it into the pipeline, is another major concern. They've wiped out the boreal forest in Canada, which is the same size as the state of Florida, which we all know from geography the boreal forest is part of our rain system and provides us the rain we well need here, especially during these terrible drought periods. I have nothing against the Canadian people, but I do against the Canadian government. I think it is a shame that a government is so in line with the Communist Chinese simply for the money aspect, and it pretty much shows that they do not have any morals whatsoever and will sell their souls just simply for the money. I myself, being a 20-year Air Force retiree and a 20-year retiree from the Department of Defense, and within that a 2-year Vietnam veteran, am totally against supporting the Communist Chinese in this method, where this will simply just enable their military power more than it is already, which they could very well use against us, especially with the fragile relationship Taiwan has with Communist China and the eagerness of Communist China to take over that island, and their eagerness to be constantly aggressive in the Pacific and control the balance of power in the Pacific. Recently, President Obama has sent 2,500 Marines to the northern tip of Australia as a result of this entire picture. And I can only hope and pray that the end result is no to the Keystone XL pipeline and or to the planned conversion of the Seaway pipeline, which Enbridge is trying to use now to transport tar sands oil, which it was never intended to send tar sands oil, the corrosive oil, through that pipeline, which corrodes pipelines from the inside out, just as it did up in the Kalamazoo River area.
Could you say a couple words about what happened in Kalamazoo, Michigan?
In Kalamazoo, there was a pipeline, an Enbridge pipeline, that had a 50-year life expectancy. It had ran conventional oil through that pipeline for 40 years. The last 6 years of use of that pipeline, they were transporting tar sands oil through it. There is a 6-foot tear in that pipeline that you can see if you go to stoptarsands.org on the internet and click on the top of the page where it says spills. You could learn all about this yourself. Plus my song is on there as well.
Please say more about that too.
On that site, you just have to search for it. When you go to the About, look on the bottom of the page for where it talks about the tar sand song that I wrote about this subject matter.
I encourage everybody to listen to that.
The picture of the pipe itself is actually on the top of our website, and you can see how huge this tear is. And As a result of that tear in that pipeline, it spilled over 1 million gallons of tar sands oil up in Talmadge Creek, Battle Creek, Michigan, in the Kalamazoo River. It's been over a year now, and it has still not been cleaned up. And this is where it has been discovered and brought to light in front of everybody that tar sands oil is not the same as conventional oil. You cannot just skim it from the top in a spill, that it does sink to the bottom and work its way through the sediment in the ground and can affect our underground aquifers that we are very concerned about here in East Texas, because we are sitting on the corrizo-wilcox aquifer that supplies 60-plus counties of water for agriculture and for human consumption.
Well, we never hear about this aquifer.
No.
We've heard so much about the Ogallala, but not this.
That's right. And the
corrizo-wilcox.
The corrizo-wilcox, and it has very delicate and fragile sands, and a spill would be devastating in this area if that were to occur.
And your governor supports this pipeline, Rick Perry.
That's exactly right. He will not come out and speak against it, nor will any of our other representatives for that matter, because the pipeline company's been down here. The pipeline company has lied to everybody, saying they are an American-owned company. They are not. They're privately owned. TransCanada is a privately owned Canadian company. They've told them that their name was Keystone. That's the name of the project. That is not the name of the company. They have told him that this product was going to be for our use here in America. It is not. It is for use of export primarily to the Communist Chinese and the Asian countries which they have grasp over. And I'm trying to think of what the other thing was that they said, but there's just so many.
You can't keep track of the
so
lies,
many
right?
things that they've lied to these people when they've come down. They've trespassed on people. This is Texas. You do not trespass on people's lands when it says posted no trespassing. You can be shot and killed. However, they find where people are out to work, they came on the property, put stakes on the property, and then the individual who's a founder of our organization found these stakes on his property, and this is how it led to him finding out that they were going to run a 50-foot easement, 150 feet in a place where they would put the substation on his property, and that he would no longer be able to use the easement, which they want to come through, as he did before. In fact, they were going to take hardwood trees that have existed for over 100 years off his property, yet they want to say that you could continue to use the property as you did before. No, you can't. You can't build anything on it. You surely can't grow a tree on it because the roots would affect the pipeline. So all they have done is just blow smoke up everybody's skirt, up and down this pipeline, with just a bunch of lies. And we all know that the truth is they are anxious to get this product to the Gulf, to get it to the Communist Chinese. I'm not for it. Not for it. Never will be.
Eddie. All I have to say after hearing all that is I wouldn't be messing with Texas if I were TransCanada or Enbridge. And they're messing with you guys.
That's right.
And pushback's going to be hard.
I understand. They're doing everything they can, but so are we.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, and we've got the numbers.
Well, Texas, you know, I challenge Texas specifically because Texans want to say, you know, we're very moral people, very Christian people, very patriotic people. Everybody says thank you for your service. We have motorcycle American flag escorts on military funerals here. It's a big deal here in Texas, okay? And these patriotic people need to know what the real objective of this pipeline is. And in knowing that, that's when they'll stand up and say no.
Yeah.
Because that's what I feel true Texans and Americans, you know, feel as far as patriotism, that when we've been lied to, you might as well forget about it. And that's what the Canadian government and these countries, the Canadian government and the oil companies are doing here.
Thanks for educating all of us, Eddie. Can we do a close-up of your cap and then...
yeah, for sure.
Love that. And then your polo shirt, could you mind?
No problem.
There you go. That says it all.